हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जयो राधा वृंदावन विहारी, राधा वृंदावन विहारी राधे। जय राधा मदन मोहन ललिता देवी, राधा मदन मोहन ललिता देवी। जय गिरि गोवर्धन, जय गिरि गोवर्धन, गिरि गोवर्धन जय गिरि गोवर्धन। जय वृंदावन धाम, जय वृंदावन धाम, वृंदावन धाम जय वृंदावन धाम। जय जय प्रभुपाद, प्रभुपाद, प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद। जय जय गुरुदेव, गुरुदेव, गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव। नीताय गौर हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल। कलियुग पावन श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं, देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः. So this morning we are reading from Canto 7, chapter number 6, chapter entitled Prahlad instructs his demoniac schoolmates, text number 2. यथा हि पुरुषस्येह विष्णुपादपसर्पणम् यद एष सर्वभूतानां प्रिय आत्मेश्वर सुर यथा हि पुरुषस्येह विष्णुपादोपसर्पणम् यद एष सर्वभूतानां प्रिय आत्मेश्वर सुर यथा हि पुरुषस्येह विष्णुपादोपसर्पणम् यद एष सर्वभूतानां प्रिय आत्मेश्वर सुर यथा हि पुरुषस्येह विष्णुपादोपसर्पणम् प्रिय आत्मेश्वर सुर यथा हि पुरुषस्येह विष्णुपादोपसर्पणम् देश सर्वभूतानां प्रिय आत्मा सुरेश्वर विष्णुपादोपसर्पणम् प्रियात्मेश्वर सुर यथा हि पुरुषस्येह पादोपसर्पणम् ते च सर्वभूतानां प्रिया आत्मेश्वर सुर. What word meaning? Yatha, in order that he indeed purushasya of a living entity, iha here, Vishnu of Lord Vishnu, the supreme personality of Godhead, pada upasarpanam, approaching the lotus feet, yat, because eshah, this sarva bhutanam, of all living entities, priya, the dear one, atma ishvara, the master of the soul, the super soul, surat, the best well-wisher and friend. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: the human form of life affords one a chance to return home back to Godhead. Therefore, every living entity, especially in the human form of life, must engage in devotional service to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. This devotional service is natural because Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the most beloved, the Master of the soul, the well wisher of all living entities. Purport: the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 5.29, Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Surudam Sarvabhutanam Gyatva Mam Shantim Richati. The sages, knowing me as the ultimate purpose of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. Simply by understanding these three facts, that the Supreme Lord Vishnu is the proprietor of the entire creation, that he is the best well wishing friend of all living entities, and he is the supreme enjoyer of everything, one becomes peaceful and happy. For this transcendental happiness, the living entity has wandered throughout the universe in different forms of life and different planetary systems. But because he has forgotten his intimate relationship with Vishnu, he has merely suffered life after life. Therefore, the educational system in this human form of life should be so perfect that one will understand his intimate relationship with God or Vishnu. Every living entity has an intimate relationship with God. One should therefore glorify the Lord in the adoration of Shantarasa or revive his eternal relationship with Vishnu as a servant in Dasya Rasa, a friend in Sakhya Rasa, a parent in Vatsalya Rasa, or a conjugal lover in Madhurya Rasa. All these relationships are on the platform of love. Vishnu is the center of love for everyone, and therefore the duty of everyone is to engage in the loving service of the Lord, as stated by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavatam 3.25.38. Yesham aham priya atma sutascha sakha guru surudo devamishtam. In any form of life, we are related with Vishnu, who is the most beloved, the super soul, son, friend, and guru. Our eternal relationship with God can be revived in the human form of life, and that should be the goal of education. Indeed, that is the perfection of life and the perfection of education. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादा सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. So we are continuing this beautiful section of the Srimad Bhagavatam, where we are able to peep into this beautiful, wonderful qualities of Prahlad Maharaj, especially under trying circumstances, how he is rock solid in his faith unto the Supreme Lord. When everything is against him. mm, Many times, many devotees feel that I am not in a favorable circumstance to practice Krishna consciousness. I am at my home, in my village, in a community where no one is supportive of practicing Krishna consciousness. How can I continue my practice? I have no association. There is no satsang happening. So we can take a lot of inspiration from Prahlad Maharaj, wherein all around everyone is an asura except Prahlad Maharaj, who, because of having taken the association of a pure devotee Narada Muni while he was in the womb of his mother Kayadu, got so much faith, conviction, that is not only himself practicing Krishna consciousness, but in this chapter we'll see that he has beginning his preaching also, where in the school where he was sent by his father, the demoniac education, where Shanda and Amaraka were the teachers. So they were being told to train all the students and especially Prahlad Maharaj in the demoniac way of thinking. How should one do diplomacy? How one should do duplicity, the art of cheating, politics, and all those things. But Prahlad Maharaj couldn't accept anything what the teachers were telling. And now, in the interval period in the school time, Prahlad Maharaj is beginning to preach to his friends. So we see this chapter has just begin. So in yesterday's verse, it was explained. Prahlad Maharaj is telling, Kaumaram Acharet Pragyo Dharman Bhagavataniha Durlabha Manushya Janma Tadapi Adhruvam Artadam. Pragya. Pragya means those who are intelligent. What they should do? Kaumaram. Kaumaram means the age of 5 years. So those who are intelligent, they have to accept Dharman Bhagavata. They have to accept Bhagavad Dharma. They have to start practicing from the age of 5 years. So the friends may ask, we are just very young now, just 5 years of age. Why we should start practicing so early? हाँ, जीवन बहुत लंबा है. Why only 5 years? So Prahlad Maharaj says, Durlabham Manushya Janma. This human form of life is very, very rare. We don't know, my dear friends, for how long we are going to have this human form of life. So, therefore, we should not think that we'll practice at the fag end of our life. We don't know how much time do we have. So, durlabham manushya janmam tadapi adruvam arthadam. So, although this human form of life is very rare, but in this human form of life, we can achieve the topmost thing by practicing Krishna consciousness. That was yesterday's verse. And today's verse, Prahlad Maharaj is continuing to speak to his friends. Yatahi purushasyeha. Therefore, my dear friends, that I told you that human form of life is very rare. So, therefore, what we should do? Vishnu pada upa sarpanam. Again, he is emphasizing what he told in yesterday's verse, in the first verse, that all of us we have to engage in Vishnu Padopa Sarpanam. We have to approach the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. Yad Esha Sarva Bhutanam Priya Atmeshwara Surut. Why we should approach Lord Vishnu? Why? Because he is the only one who is our dearmost well wisher, who is our closest friend. There is no one who loves us more than Lord Vishnu. Therefore, we have to take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and engage in his devotional service. So, therefore, Prabhupada, in this purport of this verse, as Prabhupada will always say, Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram Surudam Sarva Bhutanam Gyatva Mam Shanti Richati. So, Prabhupada used to call this verse the peace formula. What is the peace formula? If one understands three things, Bhoktaram, Yagya Tapasam, that all the sacrifices and austerity ultimately has to be performed to please the Supreme Lord. Bhoktaram, Yagya Tapasam. Second is Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. The Supreme Lord is the proprietor of all the planets. Second point. And the third is Surudam Sarva Bhutanam, that the Supreme Lord is our eternal well-wisher. Surudam. Like in Sanskrit. In English, like we call friend, best friend. But in Sanskrit, depending upon the intimacy, you have these different words. Mitra, Sakha, Bandhu, Surud. So Sanskrit is such a refined language. Depending upon the intimacy, the words change. Unlike in English, friend, best friend, like that. So here, Surudam Sarva Bhutana. Surudam means the dearmost, someone who is who loves us very closely, the dearmost friend. Surudam Sarva Bhutanam Gyatva Mam Shantim Richati. So anyone who understands these three things, he will attain peace. So therefore, Prabhupada is telling that if one understands this point, then he becomes peaceful and happy. Then Prabhupada tells in the purport that all of us, we have a relationship with Krishna in one of the five rasas. Shantaras, Dasyaras, Sakhyaras, Vatsalyaras, and Madhuryaras. So all of us, we have a already established relationship with Krishna, but now that relationship has been kind of disconnected, or the relationship is been covered like a wire. The electricity flows through the wire, but when the wire gets disconnected, then the particular electrical equipment may not work because of getting disconnected. So the only purpose is to again reconnect. So therefore, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunoy Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Kare Udoy. Love of God is dormant, present within the heart. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunai. Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Kare Uday. So by the process of hearing and chanting, as Prahlad Maharaj also in the previous chapter explained to his father Hiranyakashipu. When Hiranyakashipu asked him, what is the best of all the education which you learned in your school? So he spoke about Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. So Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Kare Uday. So by the process of hearing, chanting, and all the other limbs, this dormant love for Krishna, which has been disconnected, will again connect and it will start coming. And whatever relationship we have with the Supreme Lord, many times devotees used to ask Srila Prabhupada that while engaging in devotional service, what should I meditate on? Should I meditate, Prabhupada, that I am some parrot in Vrindavan or I'm having a form of a peacock? Prabhupada said no. We should not artificially impose something on the mind that I am this, I am that. You just focus on chanting and hearing the holy name, and automatically, when sufficient purification takes place, then what relationship we have with Krishna will be automatically revealed. We don't need to force it on ourselves, as many Sahajiyas and others in the holy dhams they do. Someone may try to, a male person will try to wear the dress of a, he will wear sari and he will imitate. I am a Manjari or I am a Saki. So many different kinds of apasampradayas where they are taught to speak in a female language and all that. But Prabhupada said that these things are not so cheap. Hmm. So one has to always engage in devotional service, and when the time becomes mature, then everything will be revealed in due course of time. Prematurely, one cannot think that I am this, I am that. So therefore, here also Prabhupada is telling that we have a relationship with the Supreme Lord in all of the five rasas. And the more we engage in hearing and chanting the holy names of the Lord, that relationship with the Supreme Lord will be revealed. So, as Prahlad Maharaj always explained previously also, that my heart is attracted to the Supreme Lord just like an iron filing gets attracted to a magnet. It is a direct attraction. As soon as one brings an iron filing or any other metal in front of the magnet, automatically there is attraction. So, in the same way, attraction for the Supreme Lord is very natural, like magnet and iron filing. So, all of us are like the iron filing, and Krishna is like that magnet. So, automatically, when you bring an iron filing, it gets attracted to the magnet. But under one condition, the iron filing will not get attracted to the magnet when there is rust in the iron filing. Like we call jung lag gaya hai. So when the nail or any kind of iron gets rusted, then although powerful magnet may be there, but that attraction does not happen. But and then we use all kinds of chemicals, rustoframe and all those things to remove the rust that is there on the iron filing. Then automatically the attraction comes. So the process of devotional service is just like removing all the external contamination which is there on the heart. Cheto darpana marjanam. So cleansing the mirror of our heart. So therefore today also happens to be a very auspicious day. Tomorrow being Rath Yatra. Today is the cleansing of the heart, or we call it like Gundicha Marjan. So in Jagannath Puri, the temple where Lord Jagannath will be entering and will be staying there for 9 days. So Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one day before the Rath Yatra, he personally demonstrated how this Gundicha temple has to be cleansed. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in his commentary, he gives the example of how Mahaprabhu demonstrating very enthusiastically the cleansing of the Gundicha temple teaches us that how we as sadhakas, if we have to bring Lord Krishna, Lord Jagannath into our heart should also be very clean, like the Gundicha temple. Then only Lord will like to enter the heart. So, therefore, in very brief, we will try to discuss from the 12th chapter of the Madhya Leela, entitled The Cleansing of the Gundicha Temple. So, very beautifully, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami begins this chapter by speaking this beautiful verse. Shri Gundicha Mandiramatma Vrindai Sammarjayam Shalanata Sagaura Swachittavat Shitalam Ujvalam Cha Krishnopaveshau Paikam Chakara. So Kaviraj Goswami tells Shri Gundicha Mandiram Atma Vrindai. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on this today, one day before Rath Yatra, he very enthusiastically cleansed. First is the dry cleansing using the broom, and after that is the wet cleansing by putting the water and other things with all the devotees. Swachittavat. So, how did Mahaprabhu cleanse the temple? He made the temple very clean and he made the temple very cool. Swachittavat. Like Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's heart. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his own heart is very clean and his heart is very cool. And he expected all of us to also have such a heart. Therefore, he wanted everyone to clean the temple of our heart. And he taught personally through this pastime of cleansing of Gundicha. Shvachittavat Shitalam Ujvalam cha Krishnopa Vesho Paikam Chakara. So that our heart, which is non different from a temple, it becomes befitting for Lord Krishna to come and sit. So before the cleansing of the Gundicha temple begins in this chapter, a small section Kaviraj Goswami describes wherein the king of Orissa, Maharaj Pratap Rudra, who has been waiting for a long time to get mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not willing to meet a king. Why? Because Mahaprabhu is a sannyasi. And king means, although Prataprudra Maharaj is a devotee, but in general, king means he is surrounded with wealth, wine, and woman. So, how can a sannyasi meet with a Vishayi? Sannyasira alpa chidra sarva loka gaye. So, he tells that on a white cloth, if there is one spot, it is easily seen. So, similarly, a sannyasi or a renunciant has to be above doubt. His character should not be doubted by anyone. So, therefore, Mahaprabhu is refusing to meet Prataprudra Maharaj, and Prataprudra Maharaj is feeling that if I don't get the mercy of the Supreme Lord, I will give up my kingdom, I will give up everything, and I will become a beggar. So, from his side, he is very much determined. So, here during this Gundicha temple cleansing and during Rath Yatra, how the devotees are trying to help Prataprudra Maharaj so that he can get association of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Nityanand Prabhu and Ramananda Rai, all the devotees, they are trying to help Prataprudra Maharaj. So first Nityanand Prabhu gives the outer garment, the Anga Vastra of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Prataprudra Maharaj. So Prataprudra Maharaj gets the first installment of mercy from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through the cloth given by the Supreme Lord, Nityanand Prabhu gives it. So that gives him lot of pacification. Then the second installment of mercy Prataprudra Maharaj gets when his son is being sent to meet Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally embraces the son of Prataprudra Maharaj. And Prataprudra Maharaj is very much pacified. Okay, there is some hope because Mahaprabhu has embraced my son. So it's like as good as giving mercy to the father through the son. So that embrace. And then he's further waiting. So that is the first section of this chapter. And then from the 72nd verse, this episode of cleansing of the Gundicha margin, that section begins. प्रथमे काशी मिश्रा प्रभु बोलाइला पाडीचा पात्र सर्वभौमे बोलाया आनीला. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, first of all, he called for three people. He called for Kashi Mishra, then he called for Padicha Patra. Padicha Patra is the superintendent of the temple, and he called for Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. तीन जन पाशे प्रभु हासिया कहिला गुंडीचा मंदिर मार्जन सेवा मागी नीला. So when all these three, Kashi Mishra, the superintendent of the temple, and Sarvam Bhattacharya, all three came in front of the Lord, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu folded his hands and he begged that please give me permission so that I can clean this temple. So this Gundicha temple, as we know, Gundicha Rani is the wife of King Indradumna Maharaj. So King Indradumna Maharaj was the person who was instrumental in building the Jagannath temple. He personally installed Jagannath, Baldev and Subhadra. And this Gundicha temple is named after his wife. The wife of Indradumna Maharaj is Gundicha. पडीचा कहे आमी सब सेवक तोमारा ये तोमारा इच्छा से कर्तव्य आमारा. So when the all three of them they heard the request of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he wants to clean the temple, so all of them they agree. They say that, my dear Lord, whatever is your desire, we are ready to fulfill your desire. We are ready to assist you because Maharaj Pratap Rudra has especially told us that whatever Chaitanya Mahaprabhu needs, all his desires should be fulfilled and please support. So the king himself has given permission. So whatever you need, we are ready to assist you. But there is one request from our side. What is that? Tomara yogya seva nahi mandira marjana एक लीला कर ये तो मारा मना. तुम्हारा योग्य सेवा नाही. My dear Lord, you are the supreme personality of Godhead, and cleaning the temple, that doesn't befit you, my Lord. So why you are doing? So as far as I am concerned, but still it is our duty to request you that this service is not befitting. Anyone can do the cleansing of the temple, but as your pastime, if you want to do, then we cannot stop you. You can go ahead. So किंतु घट सम्मार्जनी बहुत चाहिए आज्ञा देह आजी सब यहाँ आनी दिए. So to clean the temple, I will supply brooms, how much ever number you need. And in order to do the wet cleansing of the temple, whatever number of pots are needed, I will supply you so that all the devotees can bring water from the nearby Indradumna Sarovar. So he gave hundreds of brooms for cleansing the temple. He gave hundreds of pots so that afterwards the water can be brought. आर दिने प्रभाते लय निजगण श्री हस्ते सभार अंगे लेपिला चंदन. So the next day early in the morning, Mahaprabhu brought all his associates, and he personally put chandan on each of their forehead before the service of cleansing began. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally gave broom to each and every devotee with his own hands, and then all of them they proceeded towards cleansing the temple. गुंडीच्या मंदिर गेला करी ते मार्जन प्रथमे मार्जनी लय करीला शोधन. So, along with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the devotees began cleansing the Gundicha temple with the brooms. So, all the different places in the temple. So, there is the outer hall, then there is the inner hall, then there is the Simhasan where Jagannath, Baldev, and Subhadra is sitting. Then there is the ceiling, then there are walls. So, in that way, there are different places inside the temple which has to be cleansed. So, Mahaprabhu began properly allocating different areas for different devotees so that overall the temple cleansing is done very nicely. चारी दिके शतभक्त सम्मार्जन करे आपनी सोढे न प्रभु शिखा न सबरे. So hundreds of devotees were engaged in cleansing all around the temple, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was personally carrying out the operation just to instruct others. So few years ago when Gaurampur was giving a class, he was also sharing different lessons during this Gundicha Marjan. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a leader, the first quality Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is demonstrating here is he personally is enthusiastic to cleanse the temple, and he is also telling everyone, you also do that. So Mahaprabhu as an ideal leader, he is teaching by his own example. When Mahaprabhu was chanting the holy names of the Lord, and then he was also telling others to chant the holy names of the Lord. Here Mahaprabhu personally as an ideal leader, he is cleansing enthusiastically the temple, and is also inspiring everyone to do the same. So when a leader personally does an activity, then when he tells others to do, that has an effect. So leader personally teaches by his example. Apani Achari Prabhu Jive Te Shikhaiya. Acharya means one who teaches by his own example. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a leader is teaching all the devotees by his own example. प्रेमोल्ला से शोधे न लये न कृष्ण नाम भक्तगण कृष्ण कहे करे निज काम. So Premolasa Shodhena. So Mahaprabhu was in great jubilation when he was chanting the holy names of the Lord, and along with chanting the holy names of the Lord, he was engaged in cleansing the holy names of the Lord. Mam Anusmara Yuddhacha. While fighting, you remember me. So here externally, Mahaprabhu is cleansing the temple everywhere, but with his mouth, he is always chanting the holy names of the Lord. So devotees also looking at the Lord, they are also learning that with the hands, the brooming is going on, and continuously with the mouth, the chanting of the holy names has to go on. So while rendering the service, one has to constantly chant the holy names of the Lord. During our yatras, we see when the Belgaum Matajis, they are engaged in making the chapatis. And all of them are continuously doing the kirtan. So when Maharaj saw hundreds of Matajis sitting, they are engaged in making chapatis for 8,000-10,000 devotees, and they are all chanting. He was so happy to see that. So in that way, whatever service we are engaged, so if possible, we can chant the holy names of the Lord physically or mentally. So in that way, constantly our service is also going on using our hand and whatever senses are needed, and continuously the chanting of the Lord's name physically, verbally, or mentally, that has to go on. So here also all the devotees very enthusiastically, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is infusing enthusiasm. They are cleansing, at the same time they are all chanting धूली दुषार तनु देखी ते शोभन, कहाँ कहाँ अश्रु जले करे सम्मार्जन. So while the brooming is going on, the entire dust is going everywhere, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's beautiful body, golden complexion, it is covered with dust all over, and Mahaprabhu is looking very much beautiful. So Mahaprabhu, when he is cleansing the temple, at that time, kaha kaha ashru jale kare sammarjana. Tears are flowing from his eyes, and the temple is becoming wet because of the water, the tears that is flowing from the eyes, and that way is cleansing. During Rath Yatra's time, it is explained that when Mahaprabhu was crying, at that time the tears were coming out like pichkari. The word Kaviraj Goswami uses is like pichkari. When we cry, the tears will come like this. But when Mahaprabhu is crying, that time like a syringe, like that. That's how it was flowing. We can't even imagine what it would be. So here also, when Mahaprabhu is brooming the temple, his heart is filled with so much of love and devotion that continuously tears are falling, and with those tears, Mahaprabhu is brooming. So different places, Bhoga Mandira, the outer yard, the different residential quarters. So all the different places are being cleansed. Trina Duli Jhinkar Sab Ekatra Kariya Bahirva Selaya Felaya Bahira Kariya. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with his own cloth, he collected all the dust, the straw, and the grains of sand in one place. He gathered all in his cloth, went outside, and he threw it. So when all the devotees saw that Mahaprabhu personally using his own cloth to gather all the dust, so they also did the same. They also collected all the dust, the sand, the straws in their own cloth, and they also went outside like Mahaprabhu, and they also threw it outside. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told the devotees that I can see how much hard work you are putting, seeing that how much quantity of dust you all have collected. So it's explained that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu alone, is dust which he had collected was very big, and all the devotees put together, what dust they collected, it was much less than what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu alone collected. So that's how Mahaprabhu was personally engaged in enthusiastically cleansing the temple of the Lord. ए मत अभ्यंतर करिला मार्जन पुनः सभा कारे दिला करिया वंतन. And then Mahaprabhu was properly delegating. So as a leader, you cannot do everything on your own. So one skill or one quality a leader should have is the art of delegation, so that things can expand. So Mahaprabhu was delegating different devotees, different places where they can go and do their cleansing. So in that way, overall the task can be achieved with proper quality and quantity. सूक्ष्म धूली त्रिन कंकर सब करह दूर भालमत शोधन करह प्रभुरांतपुर. Then Lord told, after the gross cleansing was over, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told that again we have to do second cleansing, the dry cleansing, so that whatever fine dust particles are there, that can be removed. So Mahaprabhu inspired all the devotees to do the second dry cleansing, and all of them were very happy. For second time, they started doing the dry cleaning. So after the second dry cleaning was over, then many devotees were waiting now that next Mahaprabhu will begin the wet cleansing. So the water has to be needed. So all the devotees went to Indradumna Sarovar. They had filled water in the earthen pots, and all of them were waiting that as soon as Mahaprabhu orders, we'll be ready to put water on the floor. So as soon as Mahaprabhu said that now the wet cleansing can start. So all the devotees, they began pouring all the water on the floor, and Mahaprabhu began cleansing the different places with water. So Mahaprabhu first told that the water can be poured on the ceiling, so that first the ceiling can be cleansed, then the walls can be cleansed, then the floor that can be cleansed. So things was done in a very systematic way. Otherwise, again and again, we have to do the same thing. If all the below things are cleansed and finally then someone puts water on the ceiling, then again you have to do it double time. So Mahaprabhu, although he was absorbed, but in that also he was very organized himself, and he was also telling devotees to be organized so that we don't redo the same thing again and again. So time and energy should not be wasted. It's a valuable resource. So very intelligently we can do. So Mahaprabhu was systematically organizing and telling devotees where the water should be put first, where it should be put second, so that overall it can be cleansed nicely. And personally, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went, and the place where the altar, Jagannath, Baldev, and Subhadra, they are sitting, that place personally, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did. So one lesson which Gaurang Prabhu taught, that leader has to himself do the most critical activity. He cannot be telling that, oh, in the name of false humility, he cannot delegate. Something is important, he himself has to personally go and do. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally went, and the important place where Lord Jagannath, Baldev, and Subhadra was sitting, that he personally did. So at that time, when devotees are bringing water and water was being poured, so one devotee, he thought this would be a good opportunity. I will put water on the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and I will directly drink the Charnamrit, the water of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So two, three devotees, they planned and put water at the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and silently they drank Charnamrit. So Mahaprabhu knew everything. So this time he did not tell. But later on, again, when one devotee tried to do that, that time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very angry. And second time he told Sarup Damodar Goswami that you are Bengali, Gaudiya, you should train him properly. See what is he doing. In the front of the Lord's altar, he is putting water on my feet and is trying to drink. This is not proper. This is aparad. How can you do that? But in the first time, Mahaprabhu does not tell anything. And then the cleansing is going on, and very enthusiastically, all the devotees are very happy with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he is personally leading from the front and inspiring everyone to cleanse the temple. And then Nirmala Shitala Snigdha Karila Mandire Apana Hridayena Dharila Bahire. Nirmala Shitala Snigdha. Nirmala is purified, Shitala is cool, and Snigdha is pleasing. Karila Mandire. So the temple became very cool, pleasing, and it became very pure. So the experience of service has to be very pleasing, and the experience of service has to be very purifying. Apana Hridayena Yena Dharila Bahire. So just as if the Lord's own pure mind had appeared. शत शत जन जल भरे सरोवरे घाटे स्थान नहीं केह कूपे जल भरे. So since hundreds of men were engaging from bringing water from the Indradumna Sarovar, there was no place for more devotees to go. So devotees went nearby to a well, and they were pulling water from the well, and from there they were bringing water and they were pouring. So hundreds of devotees were bringing pots of water, and hundreds of empty pots were going. So like that, in full cooperation, all the devotees together, they were engaged in cleansing. So five devotees, because they were very senior and senior by age, therefore, except five of them, all of them were engaged. So except Nityananda Prabhu, नित्यानंद अद्वैत स्वरूप भारती पुरी, इहा विनु आर सब अने जल भरी. एक्सेप्ट Nityanand Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, Swarup Damodar Goswami, Brahmananda Bharati, and Paramananda Puri, everyone was engaged in filling the water pots and bringing them here because they were senior by age. So they were maybe not able to do physical service. So, except these five, Kaviraj Goswami explains, all of them were bringing. घटे घटे थे की कट घट भंग गेला शत शत घट लोक तहा थाने आयला. Many of the water pots were broken because many devotees were bringing many pots. So while bringing and going, sometimes the pots were colliding with each other and some pots were getting broken. So new pots were being supplied to them and they were doing the again refilling. So many pots were also been broken while this service was going on. Jala bhare ghar doya kare hari dhvani, Krishna hari dhvani vina ar nahi suni. So whenever devotees were communicating with each other, everyone was chanting the names of Krishna and Hari. If someone needed water, they used to tell Hari Hari, and the water was given. And if the empty pots were to be transferred, Hari Hari. So only communication that was used for speaking was chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Krishna Hari Dwani Vina Ara Nahi Suni. Except the names of Krishna and Hari, no other sound was being heard. Although hundreds of devotees were there and lot of activity was happening, but there was no prajalpa or gossip of any kind that was going around. Only the names of the Supreme Lord were being chanted. Krishna Krishna kahi kare ghatera prarthana. Krishna Krishna kahi kare ghata samarpana. So one person was begging a water pot by telling Krishna Krishna, and another delivered the water pot by telling Krishna Krishna. So that's how the communication was going on. So everywhere there was the chanting of the holy names of the Lord that was there. Shata haste karena yena shalasamarjana pratijana pashe karana shikshana. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was cleansing and washing with 100 hands. He approached every devotee just to teach him how to work. So Mahaprabhu was personally also training devotees how to systematically do the work. Bhala karma dekhi tare kare prashamsana. So when Mahaprabhu saw that devotees were doing things nicely, so Mahaprabhu was also doing prashamsa, or he was glorifying or encouraging them, praising. Mane na milile kare pavitra bharsana. And if someone was not doing properly the service, then he was chastising. Bharsana means he was also chastising. So he was giving them feedback that you are not doing this properly, you should improve. But there was no grudge within the heart. तुम्ही भाल करिया छ शिखा अन्ये रे, ei mat bhala karma seho ye na kare. So Mahaprabhu would tell that whatever I have taught you, you should train others. You should teach others. So each one teach one. That's how Mahaprabhu was telling. So as soon as they heard Mahaprabhu say this, everyone became very happy and everyone was enthusiastic. So in this way, all the devotees they came together and very thoroughly cleansed the Gundicha temple. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur tells that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through this episode of Gundicha Marjan is teaching us that how we should be enthusiastic in cleansing our own hearts by the process of hearing and chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Therefore, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. As Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was enthusiastic with all the devotees in chanting of the holy names, in cleansing the temple. So for us, the lesson is we should be enthusiastic in performing this devotional service, especially the process of hearing and chanting the holy names of the Lord. So that's how this beautiful episode of Gundicha Marjan has been very beautifully explained by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So today is the auspicious day of Gundicha Marjan, and tomorrow we'll be celebrating the Rath Yatra, where this Gundicha temple is Vrindavan and the main temple Shri temple is Hastinapur, and the Rath Yatra is the festival where all the gopis, headed by Srimati Radharani, is enthusiastically calling Krishna from Kurukshetra to Vrindavan. So Gundicha temple resembles Vrindavan. So devotees participate in that Rath Yatra, and it explained that any devotee who once engages in pulling the ropes, so it is explained that the time of death, the different events of life is brought in front of that person. And the time when the devotee is pulling the rath, at that time, the reel stops and the devotee leaves his body seeing that episode where he is pulling the rath of Lord Jagannath. So we are very fortunate that we have so many Rath Yatras all across in our Palghar district and also all over ISKCON worldwide by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. So let us meditate on this pastime of Gundicha Marjan and Rath Yatra and try to pull the Supreme Lord into our own hearts by participating in this pastime of Jagannath Rath Yatra. जय श्री गुंडीचा मंदिर की, श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा मैया की, गंत्रा श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे. So already we are over time, so we won't have time for questions. So if anybody has, we can personally take. Jai Hare Krishna.